Where does one start with the whole heels agenda is what we're going to be figuring out today. Cuckoo, my name is Anastasiia and welcome to my YouTube channel where we like all things chic, smart and classy, so if that is something you're interested in, you shall probably consider subscribing. I would be the first one to admit that heels are by no means a universal shoe. When they hit just right, they make the outfit that much better. Today I want to share my tips as well as probably some general knowledge on how to start wearing heels, as well as my favorite ways to do the styling. Today's video is kindly sponsored by the brand Cosy Island, the brand that, in my humble opinion, just took the words elegance and comfort and never looked back. Their heels in particular have a very special place in my heart. The links to all of the shoes as well as the sizing will be in the description below, as well as a discount code which will give you 10% off. You are welcome. Without further ado, let's get into my pointers. And I want to begin with a statement that I've read as a kid in a fashion magazine. If you are wearing heels, all of your heels can probably be spread into two categories: the statement heels and the basic everyday heels. Very rarely, but you may have two in one. Let me introduce you to the absolute perfections that are these embroidered stiletto-heeled slingbacks. I just want everyone to take in this absolutely glorious embroidery. They have a very secure knot-to-tie strap. The insole over here has a padding as well as an arch support. And my favorite part about all of the Cosy Island stiletto-styled heels is that they will always have a little bit of a thickening towards the bottom, which makes them that much more comfortable without necessarily compromising the elegance of a stiletto heel. And the tip here is the one I've used abundantly while styling clothing, but not so much when it comes to the shoes. And that is going for something with multiple colorways, simply because you will have more options to color match and color correct where necessary. One of my more personal and probably more niche tips how to pick a perfect nude heel is not to go for a leather one. 9 times out of 10, I just think that they look weird, and if you want a leather shoe, go for a white one or outright pink one. I don't know what it is about nude ones, they weird me out. However, if you pick something in canvas, not only are they more durable and prone to scratches, but they also never look weird on the leg. As I've mentioned in the beginning, nude heels tend to be considered as more of a background shoe. If matched correctly to your skin color, they basically just elongate the length of your leg, making them a perfect shoe to complement the outfit without necessarily drawing the attention to the shoe, which this one certainly can do. I can see myself wearing them with dresses. I can also see myself wearing them with miniskirts and button-up shorts for daytime. However, while in the first case scenario, if the dress is the drama, the shoe will probably just fall into the background. But in the second one, if you are wearing a very basic short and very basic skirt, then the focus be fully on them. And don't everyone want a perfect chameleon Cinderella shoe? Moving on to the next point and onto the second pair of shoe that I think you can get, because yes, I will die on the hill of wearing nude heels first, because most likely if you have never worn heels, you will start by wearing them as an event shoe. Of course, a pair of perfect black heels, because nothing, and I will never budge on it, looks more classy and elegant than a perfect little black slingback stiletto with a perfect little black dress. I mean, little being a relative term here, because some people will say that the only little black heel are the sandals and the only little black dress is an ultra mini one. However, my preferred combination brings us back to the 1947 and the Christian Dior new look. These heels once again do very much so remind me of, I believe it was Maria Grazia Curie design, once again with a little bow on the side. What Dior heels did not have is this absolutely magnificent architectural shape of a heel. I don't know how to show you. The actual bottom looks like it has a little bow in it, and the way they look from behind, I cannot help but admire the shape of these heels. Now, these are called Everlush Bow Note Heeled Slingbags. Has the same honeycomb gel cell cushioning. I believe it is called this way because it has like 3 levels to the cushioning. The padded one on top that we see, followed by the instant shock relief that goes all over the length of the feet, followed by like a long-lasting rebound support at the points where you hit the ground the most, which is your toes and your heel. I personally do not go to the clubs. It's not exactly my scenery, but what me and my husband do for the date nights is go to listen to the music or to watch their ballet. And then we like taking midnight walks after that. Very moonlit, very romantic. And I would never compromise on the opportunity of such a walk just because my heels are not up to it. Besides being a perfect partner in crime to a little black dress, point that comes to all of the heels, in my case in particular, but to the black heels specifically, is that I will always choose a slingback or a mule to a fully enclosed black heel. My personal issue is me having a rather narrow feet, so slingbacks just sit better on me than the full-on shoe. But with the black heels in particular, there is something so wintry and non-escaping about a full black heel that it tends to dominate the outfit and the proportions, even if you don't want it to. And the only way I think them bearable is while paired with semi-sheer black tie or like a longer trouser so that you do not see the upper part of your heel. But in that case, might as well pick a mule or a slingback because they can be worn interchangeably in those two scenarios, but also in all of the other ones that the fully enclosed heel will just look too cumbersome in a context. Moving on with the cousin of a black heel and like the trendiest colorway of the past 3 years, I think, a chocolate brown heel. These ones are called bow tension pointed toe heel mule. Also, and this is something you shall be paying very careful attention to because these heels are designed to be more of a daytime running heel. They have circling cushioning support of this toe region that gets knocked around a lot, and that makes them much more comfortable to be spending a long period of time in, as well as this extremely pretty flared heel, and the fact that it is lacquered just adds this little extra touch to the elegance of it all. I've had them for a year, and as you can see on the sides, because I do shuffle quite a lot when I walk, they've been well used and well loved. I can confidently say that these heels are one of the most comfortable ones in my collection. And while I'm not a fan of an ankle strap, mostly because I'm on the shorter side, I'm only 161, and an ankle strap always just cuts off your left proportionally, I can definitely get behind one being placed in the middle of my feet, so to say. I love pairing them with like brown knitwear. Let's say a little short sleeve and maybe like a pair of jeans with these heels. Are you kidding me? It is such an easy and such a cutesy outfit that you can wear both to a brunch with girls or to a casual date night or to one after another. I also think that white and brown look really good together, which is probably another reason behind of me wearing these heels so much, because there is not a lot of things in the world I love more than my white dresses. Speaking of white, everyone needs at least one pair of comfortable, you can walk in them, you can sit in them, you can dance in them, pair of white heels in their lives, especially if you are in your mid-20s and onward, because you know what starts happening in this age? The graduations, the weddings, the baby showers, all of the events that are usually centered around spring, summertime and require pastel dress code, and you know what goes perfect with it? A pair of white heels. And while I think that one can never have too many dresses, I absolutely cannot be bothered with finding a perfect pair of heels for each and every occasion and then test driving it before the above mentioned occasion. Because, and here is another point, always test drive your shoes before you wear them out. These are called Gracely's pointed toe heel mule. They have once again a stiletto shaped heel which does flare a little bit to the bottom, and the same kind of architecture behind them as the previous mules, which is this extra strap in the middle of the shoe that helps your shoe not only to stay on but also not to tap on your heel while walking around in them. I love the fact that the color of them is not stark white but more of an off-whitish kind of ivory color, once again because it's easier to pair with other pastels without colors clashing. Also a point that I feel like the most suitable to feature in a context of weddings and celebrations and parties and so on and so forth is the fact that the Cosy Island shoes are made with air weave fabric. What does it mean? First of all, the whole material is full of like micro little holes that makes the shoe more breathable, which is especially lovely for the summer. time, but most importantly, they are water repellent. And I wouldn't say stain repellent, but if you get a stain on them and then you react quickly, you can definitely remove one out of them, because only a month ago, this one had a hot sauce stain right in the middle of its a pretty pointy toe. Beside the whole event season, I think that white heels are a perfect shoe for you if you are wearing mainly basic, or let's say smart casual basic, casual chic basics, loads of denim, and you are looking for something to slightly elevate your style. Because if your day-to-day uniform consists of a pair of jeans and let's say a t-shirt and a blazer, or a button-down, or maybe a tweed jacket, just switching trainers for a pair of white heels will instantly elevate your look. Last but not the least, because we're approaching the summer, I absolutely could not mention at least one pair of heeled sandals. And not only that, but a pair of boho heeled sandals. My relationship with boho generally falls into the love-hate category, but because the whole style aesthetic has been leaning more onto the romantic and, dare I say, even elegant side, with the entrance of Chimene Kamali into Chloe as a creative director and the whole industry taking her lead. Like right now, we're firmly on a love side. These are a steady weave, block-heeled, double-strap sandals, and these things, they are sturdy. Not only with the heel that I would say is balancing perfectly in between sensible and elegant, with a slip-resistant sole so that you won't be caught in the summer rains. I have already tried them on and I walked in them, and your shoe does not slip out, which is probably the main and the biggest comfort point for me when it comes to the heeled sandals, second only by the straps being not too tight, so that after days of walking in those heels you won't have those very angry horizontal kind of biting marks in your feet. And when it comes to this kind of boho sandals, there is absolutely nothing simpler but also more perfect than to pair them with a white dress. It can be a little white dress with like a lace trimming more on the boho side. It can be, once again, Dior's new look tapered in the waist, mid-length dress. Both maxis and minis work with a sturdy heel like that. Also a no-brainer kind of outfit. And because I'm chronically late, or at least I used to be chronically late before I married my extremely punctual husband, who used to be 10 minutes earlier to any event, but now we kind of balance each other out and we're on time. I collect those no-brainer outfits like pearls, and you shall do that too. That being said, those were all of the tips that I had for you today as far as the heels concerned. All of the Cosy Island shoes will be linked below, as well as my sizing, which by the way is US 8. And my feet length is 24.5 centimeters. They have size guides on their website, cozyisland.co, which are very accurate. I never had an issue. If you go there, do not forget to use my 10% off code, which I will also link in the description as well on the screen right now. If you like this video and if you want to share your support for me, I would very much so appreciate you subscribing to this channel and or leaving me a like. Check out my other social medias if you like the vibes, and other than that, I'll see you in the next one. So bye-bye!